Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we get to talk about one of my favorite races, the Halfling. Now these little fellas, for all of you Lord of the Rings fans out there, you know exactly what this guy is. Now, these Halflings are usually about 3, maybe 4 foot tall. They look a lot like children. Just imagine a little kid running around with a sword and slaying dragons. They usually don't weigh that much either. They're roughly about 45 pounds. They get some pretty neat abilities. They're usually, if they go adventuring, it's usually they either have a purpose to support a friend, help their community. Some of them go just to see the beauty of the world. They don't view it as much as a career. They're another small race. And their ability scores, all halflings get a dexterity boost of 2. Isn't that wonderful? That means they're really good at dodging, they're good at ranged weapons, finesse weapons. They reach adulthood around 20 and generally lives into roughly the 2nd century. So they can live to be about 200. Isn't that nice? Most of them tend to be lawful good, but it is D&D, so play your halfling however you like. Their size is considered small, and because they're small, they're not as fast as everyone else. So their movement speed is only 25 feet, but that's still not too bad. This next ability, Lucky, is very, very important to the halfling. It's one of the things that make them very unique. Whenever they roll a nat 1, so when you roll the d20, if you roll a nat 1, that is a critical fail. If you roll a nat 20, that's critical success. But we're not talking about nat 20s right now. We're talking about 1s. So if you roll a 1 and you are a halfling, you get to re-roll that 1. So that's pretty cool. Basically, whenever you would have a critical fail, it turns it into an advantage roll. Now, halflings are brave, so even though they're short, they have advantage against being frightened. They can also move through the space of any creature that is larger than they are. So halflings are small. That means pretty much as long as it's not small or tiny, then a halfling can move straight through its space. So medium, that's what humans are considered. They can move right through. They can move through the spaces of large, even huge creatures. So that's pretty neat. Languages. Halflings know Common and Halfling. They have their very own language. Their sub-races. They have 2 sub-races. Isn't that nice? Everything's just so nice about halflings. They make me so happy. You've got the Lightfoot halfling and the Stout halfling. Let's start off with the Lightfoot halfling. The Lightfoot halfling gets a bonus to their charisma. So their charisma is increased by 1. That's on with the dexterity score increase of 2. They're naturally stealthy. So while they can move through larger creature spaces, the Lightfoot halfling can actually hide behind any creature that is larger than they are. So a medium or bigger, the Lightfoot Halfling can hide behind. The Stout Halfling. This is my preferred out of the sub-races. They get a Constitution increase of 1. So that's a Dexterity increase of 2, Constitution increase of 1. Now, Constitution, that's your health. That's good for everybody. They also have a Stout Resilience. Now, Stout Halflings are close to the Dwarves, so they have advantage on saving throws against being poisoned, and they have resistance to poison damage. And that's the Halfling. I highly recommend the Halfling. It is personally within my top 5 favorite races. My favorite race out of the Player's Handbook. And that concludes this week. So a like would be much appreciated. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And leave a comment about any questions you may have about the Halfling or any other race. Next week, humans!